western Canadian port, soldiers with long service abroad arrive for 30 days of home leave. 450 men who have spent 5 years abroad arrive in time to spend the 1944 Christmas in Canada. Canadian Legion and Red Cross workers give the boys a taste of real Canadian food. And does it taste good? In Montreal, the band of Military District No.4 leads the welcoming parade. At the distribution center, the leave men embark on trains for points east and west. Families break the barriers and rush to greet their sons and husbands as local boys bring up the rear. The station becomes a swirling mass of happy humanity as the veterans are greeted by loved ones. After the mud of Holland and the cold of northern Italy, the land of the maple sure looks good to Canada's tried and tested warriors. 30 days of heaven is the reward for the inferno of Casino and the crucible of Caen. Mother Nature dresses the countryside in seasonable costume for the contingent from southern Ontario. The most paralyzing blizzard of its history isolates Toronto from the outside world for 3 days. 22.5 inches of snow falls in one continuous storm, an all-time record. Until cleared by snowploughs, all main roads are blocked. Rail traffic is at a standstill. Troops do yeoman duty in clearing city arteries. By the time leave men arrive, things are functioning normally. For them, it is a white and happy Christmas. The venerable Flanders Castle of Ghent, Belgium, looks down on a ceremonial parade of the 3rd Canadian Division. The occasion is the presentation of the Ghent Medal of Honor to the city's Canadian liberators. From the castle courtyard, masked pipe bands lead the procession across the canal bridge onto the Hotel de Ville. Under the shadow of the historic Ghent Cathedral, the Guard of Honor is drawn up for inspection. Composed of Cameron Highlanders of Ottawa, it is reviewed by the town Burgemeister. As a return gesture, 3rd Div makes a presentation of colors to the city. Brigadier Todd makes the award on behalf of the divisional commander. Burgemeister van der Steigen accepts the ensign as mayor of the city in a colorful ceremony in the city hall. A handclasp of friendship between the old world and the new. From the Royal Canadian Air Force headquarters in Ottawa, the story is released of a well-kept war secret. A flying suit is developed to prevent fighter pilots blacking out in power dives. Blackout means temporary unconsciousness caused by centrifugal force in diving aircraft. Electrodes on head and chest register the reactions of the flyer as a test is made without the flying suit. To simulate a speeding plane, a device called the centrifuge is used. The machine whirls a man around as he sits at the controls, which are the same as in a plane. He operates his guns as in action against a special moving target. While all this is going on, the airman's heart action is recorded by means of an X-ray machine. An electronic control system keeps the centrifuge spinning at the desired speeds as the experiment gets underway. The speed effect is measured in terms of the normal pull of the Earth's gravity, 1g being the constant. 5 Gs means 5 times the Earth's pull. At 7 Gs, a 150-pound pilot weighs more than half a ton. His fighter is heavier than a Lancaster bomber. A self-operating camera records the action of the pilot as speed is increased. The measuring instrument, on the right, records the centrifugal force in terms of Gs. At 5 Gs, without the special flying suit, he takes the count. A graph records the reactions of various organs of the body. In the special flying suit, columns of liquid are contained in a rubber lining. It fits the pilot's body from ankles to chest. Its function is to provide pressure against the body to compensate for the internal forces set up by outside pressure. On test, dressed in the flying suit, a condition of 7 Gs is reached without the pilot blacking out. First used by the Fleet Air Arm at Oran in 1942, Wing Commander Wilbur R. Frank's invention is a most valuable contribution to combat flying developed in Canada. The Meuse River remains the line of demarcation between the enemy and forward units of the 1st Canadian Army. North of Sertogenbosch, the battlefield is still in a badly flooded condition. Although several flare-ups have occurred in the Nijmegen sector, patrol activity alone keeps the troops in Holland busy. Armored units spend their time repairing and refitting for future attacks. It is the custom to test the guns every morning. Moving up to the Canadian-held riverbank, test shots are fired daily across the river on German positions. Reconnaissance units continually probe enemy positions. On the Frontline River, icebreakers are at work to keep the channel open. To a field company, the RCE goes the task of clearing the ice from around the pontoons of a bridge to avoid packing. Thanks to a Canadian Legion canteen wagon, a hot cup of tea is available to warm the sappers between their bouts with Old Man Winter. So the path is kept open for future drives forward. In northern Italy, artillery prepares the way for a drive to the enemy line on the Senio River. German self-propelled guns augment the barrage of our own 25-pounder. Striking north tough night battles, the Munio Canal is crossed and enemy strong points overrun. Jerry dies by the hundreds defending his post. On the road to the Senio, the town of Bagnacavallo is freed by Canadians. Shelled alternately by both sides, there is very little left. The tower of the Cathedral was used as an enemy O-pip. From its summit, no man's land is watched for enemy patrols. In the brief respite after the objective has been reached, maintenance of gear and vehicles is attended to. Weapons are cleaned and captured equipment checked over. There is time for a little relaxation before the signal comes through to advance. One of the refugees is a Mrs. Capaldi, a graduate in medicine of the University of Glasgow. Other residents of the town return to the ruins of their homes. Bit by bit, the rich Po Valley is being overrun by our troops. Soon northern Italy will be cleared, writing finis to a brilliant campaign of Allied arms.